ready?
All right. 3, 2.
Hi, my name is Tristan, and I'm the host of Tech Talk presented to you by Acquisitions Marketing. And I'm sitting here with the highest elected official in the town of Montgomery here in Orange County, New York. I'd like to welcome Brian Maher to Tech Talk. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's a pleasure to join you. Love being here. Being supervisor of the town of Montgomery is awesome. Not a lot of folks really know what that title means sometimes. So, introducing me as the highest ranked elected official, yep, that's about right. It's kind of like a mayor, but they call it supervisor at the town level.
So what are the differences between the mayor and the supervisor? Because I grew up in New York City, and we always had a mayor, and I've lived in Orlando, Florida, and we've always had a mayor in the county and in the city of Orlando. So what's the differences between a supervisor and a mayor?
So it's really just a designation that's given because it's a town as opposed to a village or a city. In the state of New York, villages and cities have mayors, towns have supervisors, counties have a combination of county executives and administrators or a board of supervisors, state level has Senate, Assembly, and a governor. And that's it. It's just really each town in their own charter gives mayors or supervisors or their chief executives certain authorities. So you might have a mayor or a supervisor with different authority based on their town or city charter. But aside from that, a supervisor is a mayor, chief executive.
So now you know. If you didn't know, now you know.
There you go. Yeah.
So we're going to definitely get into why you and the town of Montgomery chose Acquisitions Marketing to use for their marketing needs. But before we get into that, let's go way back. I want to go back to when you went to college in Connecticut. You went on a full scholarship to play basketball. Fun fact, my cousin actually played basketball, and he played pro overseas. But for you, injuries didn't make that road possible for you. So what made you go into politics?
That's a loaded question. So yeah, in the early 2000s, I was able to play college basketball at Post University in Waterbury, Connecticut. It was an amazing experience. My freshman year, I was one of 2 freshmen that were recruited, and the reason why there was such a low number was the coach that was doing the recruiting got a job offer like right before school started to coach at Arizona State as an assistant. So the person who recruited me, who guided me, who said, "Hey, you're going to come here, and this is what your role's going to be," left just before I got to campus. So I was one of 2 freshmen that were recruited, and the reason also there was only 2 of us was we had the conference champions all returning. So our junior class were all becoming seniors. We had the leading scorer in the nation for Division II basketball and a first-team All-American, Ron Christie. My freshman year, he was a senior, so every single day in practice, I got to guard him and get better, and we became very good friends. We're actually still friends to this day. But the basketball story for me is really important because it leads to my competitive spirit and my work ethic, and most importantly, which is something that translates in government but also in any business, is the aspect of teamwork. Being able to accomplish anything, you can't do it by yourself. You need a great team. So I definitely credit my basketball days and playing team sports with the success I've been able to have at the government level.
I think one of the most important things about people or young people playing sports, organized sports when they're younger, is that when they grow up to be adults in society, they become coachable.
Yeah.
So you're able to adapt to whatever is given to you, because the coach might say, "Hey, you're not playing today," and all of a sudden you're playing today, and you had to make sure that you're ready. You're coachable. You're able to take feedback, and I'm sure being a town supervisor, you have to be able to be coachable to move and to take that feedback to go forward and do what it is that you have to do.
It's really funny you say that. So one thing that I learned being elected town supervisor, you had a different administration before you. Every administration is different. So you have a staff in there that you inherit, over 100 employees in the town of Montgomery, right? So I love that environment where I could be coached, I could be coachable, and people are willing to come up to me and say, "Hey, there's a problem here." That took some time at the town level because you have to develop that trust. They have to just not understand that's what you're talking about, but that you'll actually have their back. And you won't use them giving you information against them in some way. So building that trust with the town employees has been really rewarding, and being able to now, 2.5 years later, say we really have a great team and employees that buy into not necessarily watching something go wrong, knowing it's going wrong and letting it go wrong and saying, look at that, but actually like to prevent it from happening and saying, "Hey, this may not be my department, but I see something wrong. I'm going to say it, and hopefully this doesn't happen." So that's the working relationship we have now with all the employees. It wasn't always in the beginning, but I'm really excited that we were able to transition into that. So it's funny you bring that up.
So in college, playing ball, scholarship, got hurt, but you went to politics. Why didn't you choose something else? What stood out to you about politics?
So when I was at Post University and I got hurt the first time, our team had to do a certain number of community hours. So I volunteered for Habitat for Humanity, started our own chapter in our club, and I've always been a social butterfly. I've always loved people. I always loved helping people. So that experience got me like thinking, hey, you know, helping people and helping my community, you know, if basketball doesn't work out, I'd love to do something where, you know, that's what I do. So long story short, I went and got involved in more nonprofits, and the first time I ever participated in a lobby day in Washington, D.C. and in Albany, and I met an elected official, a senator, a congressman, that day I just knew, I said, you know what, that's what I want to do. I want to either aspire to run for office one day, or I want to work for a good elected official, because they can impact every fabric of our society, every level. It could be healthcare, it could be infrastructure, it could be anything at all. I'll be able to have a say and an impact on that at whatever level I'm elected at. So that was when I was 21 years old.
And at 23 years old, you ran for the mayor in your hometown of the village of Walden, and you won.
Yeah.
So, but you grew up in a family that didn't talk politics.
No.
So what made you decide that, you know what, I'm just going to run for the mayor of Walden?
Because my family, we didn't talk about politics, but my parents, I'm the youngest of 5 kids, they always sacrificed so much to make sure that we could just pursue our dreams, to do what we loved, to do what we wanted to do. And my dream, my pursuit was to be at a point where I could have a positive impact on my community and on people. And I believe that in politics, that was the best way that I could impact the most people. And they supported that so much. And my upbringing led to me being able to pursue that because of the support I had from my family and from my brothers and sisters and my community, my friends. So for me, that's kind of how it happened. You know, they didn't need to know what I was doing. They didn't need to, I could be painting houses right now, and if it made me happy, they would be happy for me and they would love me. And the fact that I had that support at home allowed me to pursue politics full steam ahead and have confidence doing it.
So let's fast forward, full steam ahead to present day. You're currently the town supervisor for the town of Montgomery.
Yes. Everyone
is stuck at home in 2020 due to the COVID pandemic.
Right.
How did you decide to spread information on what's happening in town hall to the local residents?
So when I was running for office, the campaign was about 7-8 months straight. One of the things I noticed was the town did not have social media presence. Over 80%, if not more, of people are getting their information online in some capacity. I think it's actually closer to 90% these days. They are listening to something, whether it's social media or whether it's an online newspaper, they're getting their information online. So we need to be online. We need to not just have an appearance online, but we also need to do some targeted media advertising. Basically, all the things I learned about campaigning and getting elected, we needed to apply those campaign tactics to getting information out and disseminating to the people. It just made sense. So we started our Town of Montgomery Facebook page, and right now we have over 5,000 followers in less than 2.5 years. And when the pandemic hit, we had the meetings going live. We created a community response team through a charitable fund, and we were able to get all those things up and running quickly because we were able to utilize social media, email blasts, automated phone calls, and just every technological advance that has been created, we try to tap into that and maximize our presence and our appearance.
Facebook in 2020 says they have 2.8 billion people, users, active users on their platform, and town of Montgomery didn't have a page.
No, and we weren't the only one. And at the end of the day, 2020 and the pandemic opened up a lot of municipal leaders' eyes on the necessity of having an official page. So I'm happy that when we got in, the first thing we did was create the page. It was in the first couple days, and we've built it up, I think, so well because the information we put out and the quality that we put out. So a lot of other municipalities, they're not getting the follows, they're not getting the likes. The viewership of a particular meeting or a video scales off quicker because the quality is not there. So you can't just put a phone in a room. You can do it, but anybody can do that. So what separates you, a legitimate government and source of information, from someone who is trying to maybe edit that footage, someone who's trying to tell a story that's going to lead you in a certain direction? The quality. You know what I mean? And being able to separate yourself by having better quality and investing in that quality is an investment in the community that you're representing.
I think that's really cool that you're utilizing all these different technologies to reach people. You know, I guess I'm kind of biased because, you know, I'm with acquisitions marketing, and I see the quality that we provide to our clients, the people that work with us. And I'm proud to say that your company, your organization, the town of Montgomery, is one of the people that we provide for. And one of the things that I personally do is I always make sure that we're providing the best quality, because somebody's sitting at home watching this. They don't have to watch it,
Right.
but it gives them the opportunity that at 6 o'clock, the kids are, winding down, but they can't make the meetings, but they really want to make the meetings.
Right.
They're able to log onto their phone at Facebook and go there. So I'm glad that you guys are the trendsetter that made people, other local municipalities, want to go ahead and get social media. What other growth do you guys see happening for your social media in your mind?
Instagram. We created Instagram. We'll probably move on to Twitter at some point. Pretty much any place where there are residents in our community that they are getting information, and that's the big thing. People are receiving news. People are receiving their information from different social media platforms. So you need to have a presence on it, because if you do not, then people will be putting information out. Maybe it's false, maybe it's swayed, but it's not as legitimate as from that source. So having an appearance on all those platforms where there are people receiving information, that's important. And then I think the next step, which we've actually done some with acquisitions marketing, is targeted Facebook and targeted social media advertising to residents, so that they may not be a follower on the Facebook page, but they could just be going through their phone and they'll see a sponsored post, then they'll like the post and they'll get more information. More targeted ads for specific purposes is really important. So that's what we want to continue to do more of.
And acquisitions marketing, we're here to help you with that.
Absolutely.
The thing that I always tell people when it comes to marketing is that you can spend lots of money on a billboard.
Yeah.
But when's the last time you really stopped to read a billboard?
Right.
You're driving 65 miles per hour and you're trying to read a billboard?
Hopefully not in the town of Montgomery.
That's right, because it's illegal in the town of Montgomery. But your phone, people, read their phones. The first thing they do, they get up, they want to grab their phones. And I think that's great that you guys are ahead of the curve and that
Sure.
you guys are doing that. As far as marketing goes, you could have chosen any organization to help the town of Montgomery with their marketing needs. Why acquisitions marketing?
So 2 things. The first is Billy Iverson. Billy Iverson is a local kid, somebody who's born and raised in the town of Montgomery, known his family forever. We want to support local. So the first thing we did was look at town of Montgomery marketing agencies. Is there someone here who can give us what we need? Short term, we chose Billy. We felt comfortable. I trust his judgment. I trust all of the information and all the products he's put out so far. So we gave him a stab at doing this for our town and being our marketing person. In time, the town has certain procurement policies where if you spend money, you have to get other quotes. So when we actually did that and got other quotes, not only did we find that acquisitions marketing was more affordable than everyone else, but we specifically asked for certain items because we knew what to expect, because we were receiving the quality. And when we asked for that quality, it was all add-ons. It was even more. Because what some places wanted to do was just drop one person, one camera angle, and that's it. At the end of the day, to do what we do with Billy and to offer that service, there's a cost that comes to it. Billy and Acquisitions Marketing has decided to set a price that's affordable for municipalities, and some marketing agencies, I'm sure not all, but some of the ones we spoke to, at the end of the day, there isn't as much money to be made for a municipality, so they would rather spend that time and spend their resources on higher paying jobs. And you can't blame them, that's business. So that's something that I think Billy sets himself apart in acquisitions. They put a lot of pride in being able to serve the town of Montgomery, to be able to serve communities. That public service mindset is what makes acquisitions unique, and that stems from its leadership and goes down to its employees, and that's why they're always going to be successful, in my opinion.
I think it's really good as well too that you guys could have went with anybody, because in previous roles when I was the assistant chief at the fire department, I had to go out and get quotes, and
Sure.
It's easy for anybody who just to go with anybody, but you decided to take the taxpayers' money and utilize the taxpayers' money to get a quality service.
Sure. Yeah, and that's an important thing in the town of Montgomery. For many years, and look, I'm not saying this is the wrong way or the right way to do things, but for a very long time, not just in the town of Montgomery, but in municipalities, people will kind of take it, and yes, you need to run a municipality as a business,
Right.
but quality sometimes gets lost in a lot of different areas. People look at, this is the dollar amount, this is what we have budgeted, we need to stay within this, but at the end of the day, you can do that and maximize that money and maybe shift resources from other areas and put more money into marketing and less money into print, like you said, right?
Right.
So it's not about raising more taxes. We were able to lower taxes in 2020 and 2021, and we were one of the only municipalities to actually lower our tax rate and taxes by 1% in the town for 2 years straight. And we were able to spend more where we needed to and just spend less in areas where we didn't.
So not only did you lower taxes by 1%, during the pandemic, when people were having a hard time paying it, you even took on a service like acquisitions marketing to help you distribute information to everybody.
Right. And at the end of the day, it's all about reading a budget and acknowledging what lines really you can, what are needs and what are wants, right? And we went from communicating with the public as a want to a need, and a high priority need. And that's something that, if I'm elected to the next office I go to one day, that will stay long after I'm gone. And that's honestly, as an elected official, someone who's been in Walden, someone who's now in supervisor in Montgomery, I just want to be able to say when I leave that I've left it a better place, that I left things that are still going while I'm gone. And I think here at the town I'm going to be able to do that, and I think acquisitions has helped us get there.
Were there any services that acquisition marketing offered that blew you away?
I think when we talk about me being blown away by acquisitions marketing, it's the fact that they are able to do all of the things that they're doing at the cost that we are receiving it at. And I think it's really tough for municipalities to gauge that if they just get a quote from acquisitions, but if you really price around the quality of service and the scope of work, you'll see the difference. Blowing away, I think, for me, was the personal attention that Billy gives to his work. So you could have a contract with a lot of different vendors. We do in the town of Montgomery. I don't know who else that I have as a vendor that is as personally invested in their work as Billy is with acquisitions marketing. And that, to me, is what I identify as being blown away. As someone who is in touch with media and technology, I know some of these trends, I know what can be done, I know what we're missing out on. So to me, it's more about the personal attention and that aspect that would be blowing me away than anything that Billy's able to do, because I expect him to do that.
You see, like, saying those things about Billy is 100% true. Billy one way, and I know Billy a different way, the owner of Acquisitions Marketing, Billy. And when we do the different live streams, different places, like, he demands the excellence. Like, he wants to see the angles before they come out, because he wants to make sure that they're right. Because not only is it providing a service for you or for the client, somebody watching that may say, hey, how do I do that? Let's go to acquisitionsmarketing.com. That's how you would do that. What other services are you looking forward to trying with acquisitions marketing?
So we're very excited to finally roll out some of the things that have taken a pause because of the pandemic and a variety of other topics that we're dealing with at the town. We're going to do public service announcements, videos. We're going to tell stories of individuals from the town of Montgomery who are born and raised here who have overcome addiction and what they're doing with themselves to stay clean. We are also going to tell stories in this public service announcements of those that did not make it. Parents talking about their kids and the stories of what they could have been. And we're going to tell these stories in a meaningful way. Like you see some of these New York City commercials in the health department, you see these PSAs. Why not in the town of Montgomery?
Why not?
Why not? I would rather see someone I knew from high school and how they've overcome adversity than somebody I have never met in my life who's speaking to millions of people. That lower level service of government, the town level, the village level, the city level, they should invest in these types of public service announcements, in this type of technology, because the people are going to be impacted more by it than at the national and state and city level, who are spending billions and billions of dollars doing it. So why not, put $10,000 in the budget for public service announcements? So that's what we plan to do.
To reach, if my memory serves me correctly, to reach 22,000 people that live in the town of Montgomery, and then obviously the people that are outside the town of Montgomery. So it's a no-brainer. I think that's pretty cool though, that you're actually going to utilize acquisitions marketing to shoot, to record and develop and produce these PSAs, because there are people out there that need help, and sometimes they may not know how to get help. But I can tell you, If they're not driving 65 miles per hour or 25 in the town of Montgomery to read a billboard, they're all on their phone, and maybe that message might reach somebody that really needs to hear it.
Yeah, well, we're excited about the PSAs. We know acquisitions marketing is going to play a role in that process, and we can't wait to partner with them.
So, all right, let's go back to this. We're not only talking about acquisitions marketing, we're talking about everything in general.
Sure.
Why is it important for you, in your opinion, because I'm a local guy, I love to stay local. I love to eat local. I love to shop local.
I love to eat local too.
Oh man, I think the food is better most times when you eat local. Why do you think it's important for someone to stay local when they're handling their business needs?
It's just how I was raised. It's just how I'm built. You know, at the end of the day, if I'm in the town of Montgomery and I'm the elected official, I'm supporting town of Montgomery first. If I am working for Senator Larkin, like I did for 6 years, I'm supporting businesses in the 39th Senate District before I go outside of that district. If I represent a certain area, I want to maximize what I swore an oath to do, which is to represent those folks to the best of my ability. So it's a no-brainer for me, and how it works for me, anyone that knows me personally, I'm not going to insult anybody, they know this already. United States of America, New York State, Orange County, Hudson Valley, Town of Montgomery, Village of Walden. Village of Walden is home base for me, right? That's my home. That's my village. I'm a proud Waldenite. I'm always going to represent a Village of Walden, born and raised individual, and my accomplishments and my success that I have, I want that to be reflected as a resident of Orange County, Town of Montgomery, but most importantly as a Village of Walden resident. And that stems from, you know, in the late 80s, 90s, you know, being made fun of for being from Walden. That put a chip on my shoulder, which helped me accomplish the things that I'm accomplishing now. So I'm always going to represent where I come from.
If I put a hashtag to that, I call it hashtag small town pride.
There you go.
That's exactly what that is.
Love it.
So obviously, you know, we were talking about Walden, Orange County, you know, and acquisitions marketing. We look to help everyone. So if someone was sitting across the room listening to us right now and wondering, man, I want to hire a company to handle my marketing needs, whether that be video, podcasts like we're doing now, or the video PSAs that you're getting ready to shoot, why would you suggest that they choose acquisitions marketing?
I would say that they have superior quality, they're affordable, and if you don't believe me, check it out. We have tons of footage. We've been working on it for 2.5 years. We can show you the data. We can show you the folks that we've reached. And if you want to see that from an independent source, come see me, come talk to me, grab a coffee, grab a drink at Sweeney's Irish Pub, support local, right? And it's really, it's going to be easy because they do their job. So you can't fake it. You could actually show you, hey, this is how it can be impactful for you, depending on what you need to get done.
Sounds great. Brian, tell everybody how they can find you outside of here, because I'm sure after you go around, they may say, hey, you know what? I want to talk to the town supervisor. How do they find you?
Yeah, so that's easy, right? 845-457-2600, extension 2. You're going to get Megan, who is my chief of staff, and I would be hopeless without her. She is the only reason I'm able to get as much done in a particular day. She's an extension of me. So talk to Megan if I'm not there, which happens often because I'm all over the place. And if you want to check me out on Facebook, you can check out our town page, Town of Montgomery, and then my personal page is Supervisor Brian Maher.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting here with the highest ranking elected official in the town of Montgomery. I'm Tristan, he's Brian, and you're watching Tech Talk, presented to you by Acquisitions Marketing. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Tristan. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome. See you guys next time.